Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Close to good afternoon. Good afternoon for some people. How y'all doing? Blue hearts in the chat. In the chat, if you can hear my voice. Blue hearts in the chat, if you can hear my voice. I see those blue hearts. I see those blue hearts. How we doing? How we doing? Welcome back. If you was not here yesterday, raise your hand. Let me know. You may not know what's going on, and I will briefly let you know. But they've been on for 2 hours, y'all. They've been on for 2 hours. So let me know that if you are new from, or you not new, but if you were not here yesterday. She said, hey, y'all hit that like button. Yes. Thank you, Candy Girl. Candy Girl came in here and said, roll call, loud talkers. We need 49 super chats to help us reach our goal. If you've been enjoying the show, now it's time to support the content you love. Let's get it done. Thank you so much, Candy Girl. And you guys share this live stream, please, and thank you. Share this live stream. You can share it on your Facebook, your TikTok, your Instagram. Just share the live stream. We are breaking it down in living color. We are breaking down the case of Tennessee versus Blaise Taylor, okay? Blaise Taylor. He is, and she said, I was catching up from yesterday. Oh, you was? So you wasn't here yesterday, Sandra? Now, y'all, this is going to be a long live, so you might want to just put your earbuds in your ear and, just listen up. Thank you, Big Sis. She said, good morning to more mods and chat sisters listening while running errands. Thank you so much. Appreciate the love. And she said, Loud Talkers, please like, share, and super chat if you can. We only 48 away from our goal. Let's support the content and help Amoira grow. Thank you, Candy. Appreciate you. So, y'all, we are breaking this down. We're going to get into it. They are already at it today. They went 11 hours yesterday, you guys. 11 hours. And they are back at it again today. They've already been on for 2 hours. So we're going to jump right into it. But let me just give y'all an overview of so far I've been listening to it. It's been a detective that's talking about the crime scene. And he's talking about when he got there, he didn't even know that they had already went in the house, apartment, should I say, and cleaned up. He didn't know. He did not know that the crime scene had been contaminated when he went in. Okay. But of course he found out. Now let's get into it. We're going to get into it. Turn your volumes up. And they're talking about this camera that's over there that the young lady Jackson replaced the camera. She spoke about that yesterday.
Surveillance camera.
Yes.
You did not collect that surveillance camera, did you?
No, I did not.
Were you provided any information prior to doing your work here that there was some concern about the surveillance camera?
No.
As part of your job as a crime scene investigator, do you occasionally have an opportunity to take fingerprint samples?
Yes.
And what does that process kind of entail?
Fingerprint samples involve just, like I said, it's fingerprint powder.
Let me just say this right quick. So the detective said that he did not take the recording camera, the camera, after being investigating a poisoning murder, right? Somebody's supposed to have poisoning you in your drink, in your apartment, and there is a surveillance camera on the countertop. I'm just going to ask you, whether you, law enforcement or not, would you have taken the camera? If a surveillance camera is sitting on a countertop and someone is being accused of poisoning their girlfriend, would you leave the camera or take the camera? To me, that's crazy. Who would leave that camera there? She said, if I'm hiding something, yes. No, I'm saying the detective. Why did the detective not take the camera? Shouldn't he have taken the camera? That may have everything that he needs on it. If I see a surveillance camera, if I'm a detective, and if I see that they have a camera there, I'm going to be like, oh, well, shit, what's on this camera? What did the camera detect? He said he didn't take it with him.
On the surface, depending on the surface, seeing if there's any ridges and details, and lifted them with lift tape.
And you can't always get fingerprints from every surface, right?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir.
Sometimes, so, I mean, it looks like that in TV shows a lot, but it's often very tough, isn't it?
Correct, yes, sir.
But potentially, if there was an allegation that an item was moved by somebody, that could be a candidate for a fingerprint sample, couldn't it then?
Could it be, based on your question? Yes.
Okay. But at no point in time were you asked to collect that security camera, were you?
I was not, no.
And so far as you're aware, that was not collected or processed.
Not by me. I don't know if it ever was, but not by me, no, sir.
Straighten out our exhibits. 1 second, I have another couple of questions. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So Big Sis said they should have taken the camera and subpoenaed the surveillance company for the footage. And there should have been photos of the entire apartment by crime scene. So there was photos, but guess who took the photos? I'm not saying that the detective didn't take the photos because I'm pretty sure they took their own photos. But the 4 women that went into that apartment prior to the detectives getting there, they took photos as well. Like they were the damn detectives. Yeah, it is a botch investigation.
I'm going to show you what's been
Thank you,
previously
Vicky.
marked as Exhibit 25C. This is a label
Yes, sir.
from the property.
Okay.
The bottom left corner, it indicates that it was received on 2/25/9/30.
That's the date of incident as listed on the 110 form is the property sheet. Because you have to list the date collected and the date of the incident. And that initial complaint number was for that date and time. I don't know why it's listed that way in the system.
Right. Yeah, that's not what it says, right? It says received on.
Yes, correct.
And you don't know why it says that?
No, sir, I do not.
They did, Kimberly. They did mess up the whole investigation, in my opinion. I just do not see how a jury would be able to find him guilty. Well, from what we see right now, anyway, with how they have done this entire process. This case needs to be thrown completely out thus far. I mean, they may pull a rabbit out the hat, but normally I don't think they wait to the last minute to show all of their evidence, show their strong evidence. But I could be wrong. Right now, it doesn't seem like they have strong evidence.
Governor, I think when you received the comforter, was the washcloth in the same bag as the comforter?
I believe it was, yes.
Thank you. Those are my questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so that was the defense concluding with the detective, and the state wants to redirect. They want to ask them something. So let's see what they got to say.
Officer Terry, but
Yes, sir.
Mr. Terry, with respect to was the washcloth then tucked in with the comforter?
I believe so. I mean, I could see it in there, so I knew it was in there.
Counsel asked about the collection of evidence, and you tried to do your best job, correct?
Yes, sir.
And wearing gloves is one of the main things, correct?
Yes, sir.
In collecting evidence.
Yes, sir.
Asked about drugs, scenes of homicide. I believe you said was previous call you'd been on was drug related.
It was a death scene, and one of the things I recovered was, I believe it was a mirror that had some white powder on
And have you worked overdose deaths?
it. I have, yes.
And at those scenes, do you see paraphernalia and drugs?
Yes, if it's an overdose scene, generally the last drug they took or a portion of it or the packaging of it is going to be right there.
Anything like that whatsoever in this scene?
No, sir.
So what the state is trying to do right now is discount an overdose, right, of drugs, saying that it couldn't have been an overdose because when a person OD, they normally have the last final package or whatever they overdose on. They normally have it right there, the packaging of it, and that was not at the scene, the crime scene. Well, you got 4 women that went in there. Maybe they cleaned it up,
The counsel asked about the backpack that you looked in.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what was in it? Was anything?
I don't recall. It was nothing that stood out of being of value, so I don't recall what was in there.
Okay. Now, one thing as well, that goes back to kind of doing the best job with gloves. Unlike TV, perhaps, but do you wear like biohazard suits?
No, there are certain criteria and protocol where we would, but 99.9% of the time, no, we do not.
Okay. And were you wearing one of those suits, biohazard suits, at the previous incident that you went to?
I was not, no.
Right. And at this scene,
No,
I don't
sir.
have any pictures of you.
No, sir.
Okay. And did you change clothes from one scene to another?
No, sir.
And one of the things about wearing gloves would that be to try as much as possible to avoid contamination?
Yes.
Can that possibility be 100% humanly eliminated from any scene?
No, we can try our best to make it as unlikely as possible, but I cannot make it where it's impossible.
I believe you said folding the comforter into a bag is one of those difficult things.
Very difficult, yes.
And as you're doing that, do you have to?
You try your best not to make any direct contact with the comforter for a lot of different reasons. One, you don't want to contaminate anything on it. So it's one reason the more things are handled, I think, I don't want to mess anything up. And 2, in a situation like that, I believe when I folded that up and put it in, I needed assistance from one of the other crime scene investigators to fold it up. Generally, you're holding it outside your body, trying to fold it up, roll it up in a correct way, in a tight enough way to make sure you can get it in the mouth of that sack. If not, there are tools there we have to actually build our own bags for these comforters.
Going back to do the best you can.
Yes, sir.
That's my question.
Any other questions?
I know that this is not like everyone's wearing a biohazard suit for your part of this, but you were aware the scene was contaminated before you even got there, right?
Well, it depends. What's your definition of contaminated?
Well, it was in one of the detective's reports. I think that's his word.
And that's which detective, and that's a term. Somebody just being inside to collect an article does not automatically mean contaminated scene. You look up any definition of crime scene contamination, if you can find one, and most everything in there has to deal with unintended transferring of physical or biological to a scene, or the unintended alteration of a scene. Their act was purposeful. It was the best way they knew how because they thought it was their only option.
You don't know if contamination occurred, do you?
I do not know, but you can't, that in of itself does not automatically, somebody's presence there does not automatically go, that's contamination.
If you take a blanket where the victim threw up, you know, they said that she was found face down with foam coming out of her mouth, right? But the blanket is no longer there, and cups were removed or dishes are allegedly removed, and camera was repositioned and other things was repositioned. How is that not contaminated? It was absolutely contaminated. They contaminated the scenes. They manipulated things in that apartment.
It could have been.
Could have, yes.
And the chances increase when there's civilians coming around the scene, right?
Civilians, first responders, basically medical examiners, anybody who goes in that scene has a potential, yes.
And this was not a case where we believe that someone was shooting up, we had information someone was shooting up drugs and there were needles and a bunch of drugs laying out. That wasn't the allegations, right?
No.
So you would have expected to find a bunch of needles and drugs laying around on the floor, right?
Well, if it was drug related and drug poisoning, I would expect, if it was self-administered, I would expect some paraphernalia, a baggie or something to be there.
And that's not what you were investigating at that time.
No, at that time, there were a lot of unknowns, suspicious. I believe all I knew at that time was pinkish liquid, the phone conversation that was had between Miss Denny and her friend, and that she was transported on life support. Believed it was poison, in this case a drug. That's why I labeled it as a possible unknown drug on the vials I collected. That was the extent. And despite all those unknowns, there were still these 2 cups you didn't collect, right? Yes. And several items of food that you didn't collect, right? But collect some samples. They will, and the only reason I correct that, our partner will not accept food products in that sense. But yes, you're correct.
No, it sounds like he did a botched job. It sounds like he didn't do his job. There was food on the countertop that he did not take, right? Cookies in the oven that he did not take. If there is a alleged poisoning, right, and you don't know where the poison come from, wouldn't you take the damn food? Wouldn't you take a cookie? Wouldn't you take the cups? Wouldn't you take the drinks? If there is an alleged poisoning, why didn't they should have been sampling everything in that damn refrigerator, if you ask me, to find out where it came from.
Like those
Yes, sir.
unknowns,
Yes,
there
sir.
were at least some food samples you didn't collect.
True, yes, sir.
Any other questions?
No.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's turn to the jury.
You know, the cops did a piss poor job, but did y'all actually hear him try to take up for the people that went inside the apartment, saying that they was just doing the best they knew how? They just went in there and did the best they thought, they thought that they were doing the best they could. Like, what? He actually defended them. You would think that a police officer would have been like, you should not have went there. You should have waited for us.
Step down the hallway to take a short break.
So they're asking the jury to step out so they can take a short break. So it appears that that's what they're doing right now. So, we watched yesterday. We didn't watch day 1, but we watched day 2, and we're now on day 3. So far, again, I don't see anything strong enough that will tie him to this murder. I don't even see what points to the cocaine yet. I know they said that it's in her system and it was laced with fentanyl, but I don't see what ties him to the cocaine. Do you guys? They have nothing to tie him to the drugs so far. They have nothing that tied him to pouring her drink. They have nothing tied him to having, anything that poisoned her. I forgot again. Why did they take the blanket? Because didn't it have throw up on it? Yeah, they did it. They said they wanted to preserve evidence. They wanted to preserve the evidence because they said the police officers were moving too slow. even though they did this on the same day that she was transported to the hospital. She said the only person tied to the drugs is the friend. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, it is the friend, that's tied to the drugs. Not saying that, she did it, but I mean, at the same time, which one you talking about? The friend Kenyatta? Is that her name? I mean, Keys, the guy that was with the girl, or Jackson? Let me look up the players again. The name, I can't think of the lady name. I know her last name Jackson, but let me see what her first name is. She said, I'm still thinking a friend had something to do with it because you don't go in there the very same day. I'm going to put this down until they come back. Oh, it's telling me I need to sign in. Okay. I didn't know I had to sign in each time. Do I? Guess I do. Hold on. All right. Let me see what the friend name is. Her name is... Hold on. I'm trying to get the friend name. Keontae and Nija. Okay, thank you so much. The two that popped up at her house. Actually, so we found out yesterday, Sassy D, it was 4 of them. But yeah, no, Keontae and Nija are the ones that popped up to her house uninvited, mind you. Uninvited. They wasn't even invited. They were not invited. They just popped up on a planned date night. You know how you tell your friend, girl, we going on a date tonight. He's coming over. And then all of a sudden she pops up. Suspicious, suspicious, suspicious. Hold on though. Let me do this. Candace said, huge thanks to everyone supporting today's live. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and share the stream. Every share helps. Yes, you guys, please. Thank you, Candy. Please share this out. Some of our loud talkers don't know I'm live. I posted it in several places, but you know how it is. People are not glued to social media all day. So let's give the latest update until they come back. So as of Thursday, June 25th. Oh, wait a minute. It looked like they might be back. Hold on. No, they're not yet. So as of Thursday, today, the Blaise Taylor murder trial is in day 3 in Davidson County, Tennessee. The court records still show the case as open with a jury appearance today in Judge Steve Dozier's courtroom in the Birch Building Courtroom 6 Alpha. Here's the latest. The jury has heard opening statements and early witness testimonies. The state theory is that Blaise Taylor allegedly gave Jade Benning a drink laced with cocaine on February 25th of 2023 while she was about 5 months pregnant. The defense says Taylor did not poison her and is challenging the evidence, investigation, and the drug use claims. The big emotional testimony so far is about Jade's alleged last words to her friend. Jurors heard that Jade allegedly called her friend Naya on the phone saying things like, I can't feel my legs. I can't walk straight. This drink tastes funny. And asked, what did you put in my drink? Prosecutors are using that as a key evidence that the suspect, Blaise, poisoned his 5-month pregnant girlfriend before she became unresponsive. The 911 call has been played. Taylor called 911 and reportedly told dispatch it seems like Jade was having an allergic reaction. First responders later found her unconscious, critically ill, and she was taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. Jade's friend and coworker testified that she was really excited about being a mother. Lauren Weber testified that Jade was preparing her apartment and looking forward to motherhood. That matters because the prosecution is trying to show Jade wanted this baby, while the state claims that Blaise Taylor did not want the baby. The defense is pushing hard on reasonable doubt. The defense has argued Jade had been using substance, including marijuana, Adderall, mushrooms, and alcohol, and some other shit. And they are also raising questions about whether the cocaine amount fits the state's theory. One defense point is basically the amount was allegedly too high for Jade to take herself. That's one of the state's theory, I'm sorry, that it was just too much. She was not able to consume this on her own, but also too much to secretly slip into a drink without her noticing. So the state is saying that, he drugged her, but the defense is saying if she could not have taken it on her own because it was too much, then that means that she would not be able to consume it secretly without noticing it, right? So the charges are serious. Right now it's 2 first-degree murder counts and 2 felony murder counts. That is for the death of Jade Benning and the unborn daughter. Local reporting and the court listing both show the case tied to first-degree murder and felony murder charges. Now, this is what we are to expect. More testimony will be delivered today, including additional witnesses, likely medical expert testimonies, detectives, and the trial will continue on. Now, the trial is expected to address the medical expert, first responders, former romantic partners, Jade best friend Nia Jackson, which we heard from her yesterday, possible evidence tampering questions, and scrutiny of Taylor's prior relationship. So they're going to go into Blaise's prior relationships to see if, he's done anything like this before, or even insinuate an abortion or the death of a baby. So again, day 3 is underway. The state has now put Jade alleged last words and the 911 call in front of the jury, but the defense is already attacking the cocaine theory. Jade's alleged substance use and whether the investigation can prove Blaise Taylor intentionally poisoned her beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, in the state of Tennessee, in order to be charged with first-degree murder, it takes intentions, so the intent and premeditation, which means that it had to be a planned murder, okay? A planned act. So if they cannot prove that it was planned, they will not be able to get him on first degree. The state has asked if he is found guilty for him to be sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. So right now, this young fella is fighting for his freedom, all at the hands of the state of Tennessee and a few, suspect witnesses, okay? A few suspect witnesses. Now, until they come back, they're not back yet. We learned yesterday that the scene had been contaminated, even though the detective tried to say today that is not, she said, did they put it on members only? They only put members only for you to comment. So you cannot comment unless you are a members only, okay? She said, why are they not making the person bring that cup back and turn it in? Why are they not making that an important factor? No one seemed to know what happened to the cup. So the people that's there saying that they did not remove a cup, and the detectives did not take a cup. So no cup was recovered. No cup was recovered. But yesterday, we found out that 4 individuals went into the home before the police was able to go into the home and process the crime scene. 4 individuals went into the home. They took things, they moved things around, and the Nija, the friend, the best friend since elementary school, okay, she is the one that kind of alleged to the police that Blaise did this crime. So yesterday, we heard the state's strongest witness. Now, I don't know nobody else unless they give weight to the ex-girlfriend. But to be honest with you, I don't see them giving weight to no ex-girlfriend unless she has something in writing, because you could be bitter and mad as an ex, and you can say anything out of your mouth. So I don't give much weight to the ex-girlfriend, you know. I think the defense will probably eat her up, you know, maybe ask her something like, well, how did y'all break up? Were you happy about y'all breakup? You know, did he cheat on you? Were you happy about that? Or something like that. I'm sure she's going to attack the ex-girlfriend, you know. Unless the ex-girlfriend have something in writing, I don't see the ex-girlfriend being a strong witness. So that's where we are right now. Again, if found guilty, that's his life. He's gone, right? She said, well, their strongest witness was broken all the way down yesterday. She was. Absolutely. The defense did a great job. The defense almost showed Jade as someone that was still using drugs yesterday, right? She definitely painted her as a continued drug user. You even had the judge calling her drug dealer, saying that she's trying to say she was still a drug dealer. Okay, I think they're coming back. Hold on, let me see. No, I saw it move, but no, they're not back yet. They're not back yet. So at the 90-minute mark, though, we've been on for 36 minutes so far. At the 90-minute mark, we will take a 5-minute break, okay? Or maybe we'll just take a break the next time they take a break. That's what we'll do. We'll take a break the next time they take a break. So anyway, did any of you guys go back and listen to the testimonies from yesterday before we started this case? Did anybody go back or listen to the open statement or anything like that? Do tell, do tell. What do y'all think so far? What do y'all think in the comments? Let me know. Let me know. What do y'all think? This is an unfortunate circumstance. I will tell you that. But I just don't, I don't see, let me ask chat something. I just asked, are there reasonable doubt in this case? Now, of course, we know it is, but let's point them out. Let's point out the reasonable doubt. Okay, wait a minute. The judge is back. Hold on. Hold your horses. Oh, he's calling the jury back in. While he's calling the jury back in, let's play what the reasonable doubts are so far. Hold on. Let me see if I'm going to have a chance. Oh, damn. It's so much. I may not be able to do it right now. Hold on. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 reasonable doubts, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 3 strong evidence that the state is using against Blaise. So hold on a second.
Since there's a ceremony, may need to extend the lunch hour for town hall.
So it looked like they may be getting ready to go on lunch. Oh. It looked like they may be getting ready to go on lunch. He said something about extending the lunch hour. So hold on just a second.
That's up, raise your right hand.
Oh, no. No, they're about to go right into testimony.
Good morning, Ms. Dowell. Can you please state and spell your name for the record? Good morning. Yes, my name is Nicole Dowell, Nicole. Ms. Dowell, where are you employed? I'm currently employed with the Metro Nashville Police Department Crime Laboratory. How long have you been with the crime lab? For 12 years.
What is your current assignment at the crime lab?
I'm a forensic scientist in the drug identification unit.
Can you walk the jury through your history at the crime?
Okay, so this is a forensic drug analyst. Okay, so she deals with the drugs, y'all. So she analyzed the drugs. So she's gonna tell us, I'm assuming, how she could, overdose on something that strong and things of that nature. Let's listen.
Lab and what kind of positions you've held?
Sure. I was hired in 2014 as a forensic technician, and then in 2015 I was promoted to a forensic scientist.
A forensic
Can you
scientist.
describe your job at the crime lab?
Yes. My job is to analyze submitted evidence for the absence or presence of controlled substances.
And what kind of training have you had for your job?
I had to complete an internal training program that consisted of assigned readings, lectures, observation of senior scientists, practical exams, and a competency exam.
Okay, what's your education background?
I earned a Bachelor's of Science in Forensic Science from Eastern Kentucky University.
And are you required to have ongoing training?
We're not required, but we do. I participate in continuing education by attending seminars and workshops in my specific discipline.
At this time, I would like to pass the witness up.
Thank you. My CV.
Have you ever testified in court as an expert in drug ID?
Yes,
About how many times?
approximately 8 times.
Your Honor, at this time, I would like to tender Ms. Dow as an expert in drug ID.
Okay. Or again, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Dow will be allowed to give an expert opinion in her field, and a lay witness or untrained witness would not be allowed to give. You can place such weight upon her testimony as you choose to.
So because she's done this 8 times already, they just entered her in as a expert witness, which means that the judge just gave instructions to the jury they can handle her statement however they choose to, meaning that they could take it as face value or they can say it ain't shit. They can accept it however they choose to.
Yes, sir, and at this time, could we mark her CV as the state's next exhibit 26?
All right.
Ms. Dowell, were you asked to review evidence relating to a Metro Nashville Police Department complaint number ending in 0532?
Yes,
Does the crime lab assign unique lab case numbers to all the evidence it receives?
yes it does.
Okay, and what was that crime lab number associated with that complaint number I just gave you?
Do you have the report?
Did you create a report in this case?
Yes, I did. Thank you. The crime lab number is CL-23-001060.
And what type of evidence did you receive from the police department for this case?
I received drinking glasses, empty bottles, and liquid residues, and
Okay, so that the detective did take out glasses and drinking bottles from that apartment. The detective did turn that over.
liquid.
And what do you do when you receive evidence from the police department?
When I receive the evidence from my evidence receiving unit, I take it back to the unit. I photograph the evidence, then I open, inventory the contents, collect weights, sample, and then start performing my testing.
Ms. Howell, where's the crime lab located?
It's located in Madison Precinct on the 2nd floor.
And at this time, I would like to show her state's exhibits 17 through 24.
All right, we got it. All of them?
Yes, sir. Ms. Dowell, if you could just look at all of the pieces of evidence Mr. Evans is going to hand you and say whether or not you reviewed this evidence.
Okay. This is submission 008, and yes, I did test this evidence.
Okay, what is that?
This is a clear drinking glass, and I can tell that I tested the evidence because of the evidence tape and my initials and the date.
That bag is loud as hell. I'm gonna put it on mute until she stopped crumbling in the bag. She said, however, the cup Jay actually drank out of was never found. Exactly. That's what I was gonna let her say it though. They did not find the drug cup, the cup that was laced with the cocaine. Or not lace, but I guess you can call it lace. Hold on until she stopped rattling that bag.
6. Inside the paper bag were 2 empty bottles. I also can see the yellow crime lab tape.
So that's 2 empty bottles. All that noise, Jesus. I can't deal with the rattling. I gotta stop her from. They should at least did something different. That rattling is getting on my nerves. Hey, everybody that's coming in. I do have a goal set, you guys. Because I'm streaming Court TV, y'all know that they're going to demonetize this video for ads, so I won't make anything on ads. So I am asking you guys to help me fulfill my goal today. Yesterday, we stayed on live for almost 7 hours. I don't know how long it's going to be today. So if you guys can, I'm asking for support in my goal. Thank you guys so very much.
It is outsourced to a third-party laboratory.
And is NMS Labs something the crime lab routinely sends evidence to?
Yes.
And was that done in this case?
Yes, it was.
For that blue comforter and the yellow washcloth?
Yes.
Ms. Dowell, were these pieces of evidence given to you in a sealed condition?
Yes, they were.
Okay, would you accept them if they were not sealed?
I would make it, if they were not sealed, a note would be made in my case file and it would be included on the report.
How is property stored at the crime lab?
When it's received into the crime lab, it's stored in the evidence receiving unit in one of their vaults until an analyst has been assigned. And then once the scientist or analyst is assigned the case, they notify evidence receiving unit that they'd like to pick up the evidence. Then custody is transferred to the scientist and they will take the evidence back to their specific unit. So drug identification unit in my case, and then it will be stored in the drug identification vault, inside of my personal storage locker until I'm ready to perform the analysis.
Ms. Dowell, you are not an expert in toxicology, is that correct?
That's correct.
As part of generating your report in this case, does the report contain weight and the results of your testing?
Yes, it does.
Can you walk the jury through what type of testing you did for the pieces of evidence you tested?
Yes. So 2 tests are required in the drug identification unit. Both of the tests that I performed on each piece of evidence involved a technique called chromatography. Chromatography allows you to separate components of the mixture. But to do that, you employ a stationary phase and a mobile phase. The stationary phase remains still throughout the whole testing process, while the mobile phase, which is...
Don't y'all enjoy the defense argument better? I don't know. I guess I'm a defense argument type of person. I like the defense attorneys. The prosecutors be so boring, so dry, and the defense come up there and they be with it. I love the defense attorneys, y'all.
known drug standards. That plate is then placed in a solvent system. As the solvent rises vertically up the plate, separation occurs. This happens because some of the components of the mixture react differently or more strongly to the silica. So if they react more strongly to the silica, they will not travel as far up the plate. If they don't react as strongly, they will travel further. Once the solvent reaches the top of the plate, it is removed and placed in a visualization tank containing iodine. Iodine vapor allows us to visualize those spots. And then we can compare the unknown sample spots to the known sample spots, standard spots, excuse me. The confirmatory test used in this case is called gas chromatography mass spectrometry, or GCMS. It is two separate instruments that are combined together. The gas chromatograph, again, allows for separation of components in a mixture. So in this case, the sample is injected into the instrument where it is vaporized, so it's now in a gaseous phase. It flows through a column, and that column has an internal coating, which is the stationary phase in this case. So a column, you can think of it like a long, thin straw. So if the inside of the straw is where the coating is. The mobile phase, in this case, is helium. It flows through the column and helps the components, it helps the components of the mixture travel through the column. Again, it depends on how strongly each component reacts to that column coating, how long it will take to travel through the column. Once it travels through the column, it enters into the mass spectrometer, where it is then bombarded with electrons, and it fragments. That fragmentation pattern is used.
Girl, I have no idea what she's saying, but whatever it is, I mean, good God Almighty, just let us know at this point, did what you test have cocaine on it? That's all we need to know. Do we need to know all that other stuff, y'all? How she tested and the molecules met up with the polycues and the polycues twisted around. Like, do we need to know all of that?
That was done in all the pieces of evidence other than the comforter and the washcloth?
Yes.
And Ms. Dowell, were you able to detect any sort of substance in all of the pieces of evidence you examined?
I didn't detect any controlled substances in any of the items I tested.
Of all the items that were contested, did y'all just hear that? Of all the items that were contested, she did not detect any controlled substance. So no controlled substance in the cups, the bottles, none of that stuff that she tested.
Ms. Dowell, can you walk the jury through if any type of evidence would have been rinsed out or anything like that, if substances would have been picked up?
Yes, so there was a clear drinking glass that didn't appear to have any residue. There was no visible residue or contents. Those glasses were rinsed with methanol. So if there was some type of residue that I couldn't see visibly, I would extract it with the methanol.
So to be honest with you, this is not good for the state because she asked, the prosecutor said, if it's washed, would it be detected? And she just said no. She said yes, even if the dish was washed, they would still be able to detect the residue because they, rinse it with methanol or whatever, they would still be able to. So none of that had drugs on it,
Okay, and if these pieces of evidence had been rinsed out prior to the crime lab, is it likely substances would have popped up?
If they had been rinsed prior to coming into my possession?
Yes, ma'am.
I can't really speak to what happens to it before it comes into my possession.
I thought she just said that if it was rinsed, they can put methanol on it to find the residue. I thought that's what she just said.
Ms. Dowell, my question might have been confusing. Not something that you did or rinsed out, but if someone prior to you, not with Metro PD, would have rinsed it out with warm water, soap, anything like that, are these results consistent with that?
Potentially, if the glass contained some kind of controlled substance and it was washed with water, that could remove some of that controlled substance, yes.
I think she is not being honest because the girl just said that she can use some methanol to find that it had been rinsed already. How you gonna now come back and try to switch it up?
And what else could remove controlled substances from any sort of drinking glass?
I mean, if it's a physical amount of solid material, you could just pour that amount out. It just depends on what it is and how much of it is there.
And you testified previously that the drinking glass did not look like it had anything in it, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And out of the liquids, you have a red liquid, a light pink liquid, and a clear liquid. There was no substances found in that either, is that correct?
That's correct.
And those are from the actual bottles, correct? You tested the bottles
Yes, I tested both the bottles and the liquid.
and nothing was in either bottle, the drinking glasses, or the liquid.
Correct.
Your Honor, if I could admit Ms. Dabble's report as the state corrects exhibit 27.
Oh.
Hey, everyone coming in. Hi. We got a forensic scientist on the panel now. She is she's the one that tested the items that was taken out of the house for drugs, and thus far she said that she did not detect any drugs on anything that was taken out of the house. Well, correction, we haven't gotten to the blanket and the towel yet. We just got to the cup, the cups and the bottles and things of that nature, but not the blanket yet.
And Ms. Dowell, if you were not provided with the item or the drinking glass that was used, your testing would not be helpful, is that correct? With this controlled substance in it? It would not have been detected.
If I was not provided with the drinking glass,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I don't think I understand the question.
If a drinking glass had contained a controlled substance, but you were not provided with that drinking glass, your testing on the other two would not have been helpful, is that correct?
Correct.
And if the controlled substance had been in the clear drinking glasses, the two you were provided with, that had been rinsed out with water, warm water, cold water, soapy water, it would have removed. It is possible and highly likely that it.
So I don't understand why the defense is not objecting, or even the judge is not objecting. You remember yesterday when the defense was asking the witness questions, the judge stopped her saying that you already asked that. You already asked that. You already asked her that. She's already answered that. So how is it that the prosecutors can ask her the same damn question 3 or 4 different ways?
Removed that controlled substance.
Yes.
All right, I'll overlook that. She's answered. Any other questions?
No, sir. That's the state's.
All right, question we have for Mr. Taylor.
Now here come the defense, y'all. Y'all know I'm loving the defense already. Why they keep putting him up there?
So you're only testing stuff that you're given, right?
Correct.
You don't really make any sort of investigative decisions about what's tested and what isn't tested, right?
I don't make any investigative decisions as far as what is submitted to the laboratory.
Sure. So things are submitted to you and you test what's submitted, right?
Correct.
May I publish Exhibit 27 to this file? This is your report that admitted as Exhibit 27. You identified it?
Yes, can you scroll to the last page where my signature is, please?
Oh, yeah, sure. That's your signature there.
Yes.
At the front of this report, it says the submitting officer is Adam Reese. Is that right?
Yes.
So he's the one who submitted the items to you?
No, he's the one that submitted the Form 282 or the forensic services request to our evidence receiving unit.
Oh, so he makes the request as to what gets tested.
In this instance, yes.
I noticed on here, items 7 and 8, there's a clear drinking glass, item 7, right?
Yes.
And then item 8 is identified as a clear drinking glass with light pink residue. Is that kind of your description of it there?
Yes, that's my description.
Is that something where you described a process where you kind of do a rinse?
Correct.
Is that a process where you would do the rinse in that glass?
Yes.
And then you would test whatever comes out of the rinse to determine if there's controlled substances?
Yes.
And in this situation, there were no controlled substances found in any of this, right?
That's correct.
And there were some questions asked by the state. Isn't it possible that some of these glasses were washed and maybe that's why you didn't find anything? That's kind of what was asked, right?
Yes.
Is it also possible that there were never any drugs in these glasses?
Yes, that's a possibility.
Thank you.
Damn.
Any other questions?
She gonna redirect.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so she didn't redirect. So basically, the state got her to say that the drugs could have possibly been rinsed out with warm water, soapy water, and the defense just came up and said it's a possibility also that no drugs was ever in those cups, correct? And she said yes. So, which means that, you know, the prosecutor thinking that they scored one, they really didn't. Okay, hold on. Let me see what she's asking.
It's going to be a bit lengthy, and there are some things that I need to show to defense counsel prior to him testifying.
Okay, there's someone else to call?
The next person is Dr. Carney, who is the expert, and he has to testify before her, so no.
What do they not have?
Well, from yesterday's testimony, there were some additional exhibits that were added to his testimony, so I need to show them to them before we put them out. That's true.
Okay, I need to proceed on, so if you have a witness, we can call anybody else other than two.
I could call him, establish his qualifications, and then I could break up the data. That would be helpful.
Do y'all know what she's talking about as far as the other exhibits you don't have?
Generally, I have not seen it.
Can you give them to them and see if they need it for you?
Yeah, I just got it.
So it sounds like the state then pulled a fast one. They have witness and exhibits they want to show, but they have not shown the defense yet. So they are not allowed to show it before the court unless the other side has seen it already. And you see, they just took over 2 big fat ass envelopes to the defense, getting ready to show them something at the very last moment, you know? So I guess that's what they're doing now, discussing the what they want to show, the evidence before they call this witness in. I think the prosecutor just said that the next witness is going to be lengthy, and it's a doctor. I'm not sure which doctor it is. I have to, wait and see. And then, of course, whatever she finds, she has to discuss it with her client to let him know what's going on, because, you know, you can't just present something and he don't know what it is. And, you know, they probably have to ask, like, you know, ask him, what is this about? Like, can you explain this or explain that?
The two witnesses? Okay, is there someone else to call other than those two?
Multiple experts as our next witnesses, and there's a sequence to them. I'm prepared to call Detective Miller, I just need a few minutes with Mr. Brand.
Okay, what's a few? You've had a few, so what else? Do you have objections or
I feel
something?
like we need 15 minutes, because he does have an objection and he wants me to change something, which I'm more than happy to do it, but it's gonna take me about 15 minutes.
So there's no other civilian witnesses that you plan on calling?
I do, but again, I need the other two people to testify first.
So right now, the judge is, you know, trying to decide whether or not he's going to allow her time to explain whatever it is that she's trying to explain before the next two witnesses come up. I think the judge is over it, and I think the judge knows that the state really don't have a case. You know, they really don't have a lock solid case on this gentleman right here. While he's sitting up there thinking, he could have made a decision by now.
Let's go to the jury, you'll step down the hall for 12 minutes.
So he gave it to her. He told him to step down the hall for 12 minutes. You know he was going to give that to that new prosecutor. You know he was going to do it. It seems like that he's favoring her, you know, maybe because she's new, she's young, or he may be attracted to her. But it seems like he's definitely very lenient toward the state. Monique said, I wonder why it wasn't presented in discovery. Well, like Sally said, not Sally, Sassy D, that they like to pull the last minute, you know, oh, I just discovered this, or I just got my hands on this, and yeah, I got to explain this. I'm sorry. I should have slipped it to you already, but, you know, let's see if she's saying anything.
How about checks like from October, November 2022?
There are messages from multiple different time periods. He has
So
had,
they didn't have the download.
he has had it. I am showing him what I am needing to publish, and he has a couple of objections that I can easily change.
It's just commentary on the exhibits, that's all we're talking about.
Okay, we'll be back in
So apparently it's some text messages that she wants to enter in. She said that she's already given it to him, and he's saying he hasn't seen it yet. So now they're just trying to, okay, so while they're doing that, let me just go over the, I'm gonna take this down and go over until it comes back up. The reasonable doubt so far that the defense have again in there, the reasonable doubt that they can present to have this as a mistrial or thrown completely out. So right now, the strongest reasonable doubt they have is the crime scene may have been compromised. This is big. Testimonies show that Jade's friend and family went into the apartment after she was hospitalized. One person took photos, another took items, including the blanket Jade vomited on. The defense can argue, how do we know what was moved? How do we know what was clean, what was touched, what was removed, what was moved and removed, clean, touched, or contaminated before the police collected everything, okay? So it said the defense specifically challenged the investigation and argued evidence was not collected, including the vomit on the comforter. Number two, the actual cup and drink evidence appears to be a problem. If the state's theory is that Jade was poisoned by a drink, the jury is going to want to know, where's the damn cup? Was the drink tested? Was cocaine found in the drink container? If the state cannot physically tie cocaine to a specific cup or drink that Blaise gave her, that gives the defense room to argue the state is relying too much on inference, okay, which is circumstantial evidence, okay? Now, number 3, the medical examiner rulings matter. According to Court TV, trial notes, the defense said in opening that the medical examiner could not conclude that Jade died at the hands of another, and that matter was ruled undetermined. That is a very important defense point because murder requires proof that another person caused the death intentionally or during a felony. And the medical examiner already said it was undetermined. Number 5, the defense is trying to suggest Jade had her own drug history. The defense claimed Jade used drugs, including marijuana, mushroom, Adderall, alcohol, and some other shit, and sometime infused her own food with marijuana. That gives them a theory to argue that she may have ingested something herself, or that the state cannot prove that Blaise was the source of the drugs. Now, that's right now the reasonable doubt that the defense have working for them. Now, let's talk about what evidence the state has that's dangerous against Blaise. Number 1, Jade's alleged last words are powerful. Her friend Nyjah Jackson testified that Jade called her and said things like, "What did you put in my drink?" and "Blaise, you're scaring me." Now, even though this is not physical evidence, it is emotional and legal. It can hit hard for the jury. Number 2, the cocaine level is reportedly extremely high. The state said Jade died of acute cocaine toxicity, and there were testimonies that the amount was more than could be explained by recreational use. Prosecutors also said the cocaine concentration was the highest the medical examiner office have ever seen. Number 3, cleaning products smell hurts the defense. A witness testified when she went into Jade's apartment, she smelled cleaning products instead of freshly cooked food. The state will likely argue that suggests the cleanup. The defense will argue that other people entered the scene and the investigation was sloppy. So who did the cleanup? The state will say that Blaise did the cleanup, and the defense will say one of the 4 women that went into that apartment could have done the cleanup, okay? So is there reasonable doubt right now? Yes, there is reasonable doubt material already in this case. No clean crime scene, possible missing drink evidence, family friend entering the apartment, contaminating the shit. The matter of death was ruled undetermined, and Blaise being the only one who called 911. But the state still has powerful evidence with Jade's alleged last words to her friend, Nyjah, the extremely high cocaine level in her system, and testimony about the apartment smelling like cleaning products. So right now, the defense has doubt to work with, but the state still has time to connect the dots. Now, what say you? What say you? Do you think the defense is winning? They're not back yet. Do you think the defense is winning or the state is winning? Let me know in the comments below. Do anybody want to take a shot? I got 81 people in here. Anybody want to say that they think the defense is winning or the state is winning? Sassy D said there will either be a hung jury or he will walk. So you think he's going to be acquitted? I think he's going to be acquitted as well. Thank you so much for that super chat. Anybody else want to take a shot at it? Neorex said the defense is winning. Okay. Marley said the defense. Jazz says, I don't know. This is a hard one. You really think it's hard? Why do you say that? Explain a little bit more, Jazz. Inga said the defense. Everybody else is saying the defense. Cookie said, I'm still learning. Toya said, I'm in between. So for the ones that think that you're not sure yet, tell me what's your reservations. What make you lean in the middle? What make you think that there's more? Or not even that there's more. It probably is more. But what make you think that, there is no reasonable doubt? Too much reasonable doubt. The defense is definitely winning. The defense is winning. Cookie say, I'm still learning. Toya, when you say I'm in between, explain. They still on their 12-minute break. I said we was going to break the next time they break. I think this is getting good. I just don't think that they're going to be able to connect the dots. But, I could be wrong. Some moving pieces. I have to finish your live from yesterday. Oh, okay, Toya, I got you. I haven't heard everything. I need to catch up. Okay, Cookie. I believe it was the friend. You believe her friend has something to do with it? My question is, if he really wanted to get rid of the baby, why wait until she was 5 months pregnant? Yep, that's true. Not only that, I think men have a way of talking to women to where, he could have possibly said something like, oh, don't have the baby right now because I'm just not at a good point in my life. We're still going to be together. We're still going to date. I still want to marry you, but I want to do this right, or something like that. And her ass would have been right down there on that damn table. She said, I hate to say it, but I don't think he did it. I still think the friend did it. He wasn't even trying to get rid of the friend that night. Exactly. He asked them to stay to play spades. He asked them to stay. And she painted him out to be like this cold guy. She said that the picture that he made it, made it dark. You know what I'm saying? And the picture wasn't even dark. The prosecutor, to me, has only provided circumstantial evidence and nothing concrete in this case. Not guilty. That's what I'm thinking, sis. There's nothing that ties him to it. There's nothing that ties him to the cocaine. There's nothing that ties him to the cup. There's nothing that ties him. I mean, if anything, I think the people that went to the house, the 4 people that was taking the pictures and doing this, and the third, I think if anything, they made it worse. And to say that you went into a house and it smelled like cleaning products, like you can't even prove that she didn't clean the bathroom before she had a date night. If I was a defense attorney, I would say, if I have company coming over that evening, I want my house to be, clean as well. So who to say Jade didn't clean it because she knew Blaise was coming over? Saying the house smelled like cleaning products. My house smelled like cleaning products when my cleaners come here after they leave, or while they here and when they leave. I'm like, oh, Lord. So somebody would come in my house and swear we just got rid of a body. You know what I'm saying? Even though he wanted her to have an abortion, he didn't necessarily want her Capio. I think that's what you're saying. Exactly. It's a lot of men that wanted their woman to have an abortion and they didn't try to kill him. Right? I do the same extra cleaning when I'm having company. See, I need to finish yesterday's live. Defense from yesterday was doing a great job, though. Who was she talking to when she said they were trying to harm the baby? She allegedly was talking to her friend on the phone, but we don't know if she was talking about Blaise or talking about that friend. You know? She could have been talking about that friend, in my opinion. Hell, after cooking, I clean with Fabuloso. See? And some people actually love that bleach and pine soil smell. So they use it daily. Okay, he's back. Let's see what he got to say.
Well, let's see what, I don't know, that get through Officer Miller's testimony, I don't know why he asked, obviously, to go maybe like 115 and then break.
I'm sure the court will stop and look into that.
Okay, so the judge just said we'll go into 1:15 and we'll break. And I think they're going to have an extended lunch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this next testimony, and then we're going to break at 1:15 as well. So we're going to end this live and we'll come back after they return.
Yeah, maybe we'll try to pick a time that makes sense before you get into something else.
They're bringing the jury back in, so I'm just going to eliminate some of that loud noise. They got to bring the jury back in. I'll put it back on when they sit down. She said, oh my God, I just moved to North Carolina when Ray Caruth kid did that. Oh yeah, I remember that.
We're about to get into the truths of LPR.
Detective Miller, could you please state your full name for the record?
So this is Detective Miller.
Thomas Miller.
And Detective Miller, where are you currently employed?
With the Metro Nashville Police Department.
And what is your current position with the Metro Nashville Police Department?
I am assigned to the Surveillance and Investigative Support Unit.
And what does the Surveillance and Investigative Support Unit do with the Metro Nashville Police Department?
Our primary role, or my primary role within that unit, is digital forensics. So I'm tasked with extracting or imaging data that resides within digital evidence, then processing that, analyzing that, and providing that information to the investigator of that crime.
And does that include analyzing cell phones?
Yes.
Is that kind of a primary focus of your day-to-day?
That is yes. That's a majority of the type of evidence that we receive in our computer lab, our digital forensic lab.
And how long have you been in that position with the police department?
3.5 years.
And prior to being at SISU, what did you do before that?
I started in patrol, as all police officers do. After a few years, I became an adjunct firearms instructor for our academy, where I taught firearms and tactics on a temporary basis, just while we had trainees in the academy and actually learning there in the academy. I would be assigned out there temporarily during their firearms portion and help instruct that. Then in 2019, I was assigned out there full-time, where I was our department's lead firearms.
While he explained his credentials, because, he got to go down, how he got student of the year and perfect attendance and shit. So let me read your comment. So she said, or to pin it on Mr. Taylor. So you think that the friend went over to the house to pin it on Mr. Taylor? Or you think that it was an unintentional poison, or she did it to pin it on him? She did it to get him out the picture? You think she did it purposely?
And then on top of that, it seems like we're getting a new update for our phones every week, a couple times a month.
So he must get ready to testify something dealing with the phone data, the text messages, because I did hear her say something about there were plenty of text messages and that he received them. So this is what we're going to, be talking about.
We're constantly having to learn. I've had over 300 hours of coursework.
She said, why would they come over and tamper with the evidence? I think she was jealous of her being pregnant or jealous of her relationship with him with the intentions of harming the baby, not her. I hear people keep saying that to harm the baby, not her. But how do you put that much cocaine in someone's drink? Unless we could come up with another theory. Hold on, let me see if they done with his credentials right quick.
Yes, I have a number of them.
And I guess, can you estimate how many, did you train with other experts in digital forensics?
Okay, so she's still going down his training. So here's another theory. They could have had cocaine. She could have ingested the cocaine on her own, but also it could have been, she could have taken some and she could have been administered some. You know what I'm saying? Administered some as well, like the cups, a cup of it or whatever, But I don't even know can you drink cocaine though? I don't know, y'all. I don't know if you could drink cocaine. She said, I agree. I think the harm was for the baby.
Assisted in some way in their processing.
And are there other people in the SISU lab that also analyze digital devices?
Yes.
Have you previously testified as an expert in digital forensics?
Yes, I have.
And how many times have you testified?
11.
And at this time, I would proffer Detective Tom Miller as an expert in digital forensics.
Okay. Again, ladies and gentlemen, jury, Detective Miller will be allowed to give his expert opinion in digital forensics. A lay witness does not be allowed to give. He can place such testimony, such weight on his testimony as you choose. Okay.
Detective Miller, I'm going to ask that you be handed in writing. Do you recognize the item that was just handed to you?
I do.
And what is that item?
This is Jade Benning's cell phone.
And can you describe how did you become involved in this investigation, and was that device, I guess, one of the initial pieces of evidence that you analyzed?
Yes. So the process of which we receive evidence in our lab, when investigators collect them from either crime scenes or from individuals that they're interviewing, there's a number of ways that they can turn them into us. One of which being a series of lockers that have charging ports inside of them. And they can insert the phone into the locker, plug it up, make sure that it's charging, lock the phone up inside of that locker with a chain of custody form and the appropriate paperwork. Typically, those phones reside in that locker until we receive some sort of legal process to then extract information from those devices. So whether that's a search warrant or a signed consent form or something giving us legal authority to do it. So it normally sits there until we receive all of that paperwork, and then we bring it into the lab, and that's when we start working on it. If we're there in the lab at that time, when the detective is wanting to turn it in, there's oftentimes where they'll just knock on the door. We'll go and just receive that from them directly and bring it directly into the lab.
And did you analyze that phone in that same manner?
Yes.
And you were talking about the fact that you have to have a legal process. Did you actually run more than one extraction on that device?
We only ran one singular extraction on this device.
And can you describe what an an extraction is?
Yes. So simplest way to describe it is it's ultimately a copy of the information that's on the phone. We have a number of pieces of hardware and software that have exploits that can break into phones, but also when you have the password, it makes things a lot easier, a little bit faster. So those tools will then remove the data, well, not remove it, but they will copy out the information. They aren't removing anything from the device, but they the tools will then extract the information from that device and then place onto a computer, which then we plug into software that then processes it. Because if we looked at the data that came directly out of the phone, it's databases and it's really ugly and hard to ingest. When we process it with our software, it makes it much easier for us to examine them, because it ultimately puts it into a form that's very similar to what you would be seeing on your own phone that we're all familiar with. So the software really helps out a lot with that.
The first time you did the extraction, once you have the extraction, what do you do with it?
That extraction then moves to our server from the tools that extract the data from the phone. That information or that data that is copied out from the phone is then entered into the software that I was just describing. That software processes it and then sorts it out basically and separates it into different folders and organizational systems to make it a little bit easier again for us to digest. Then it will then take the information that we give it from, say, the search warrant that might have a time frame. Typically, the entire device is not necessary for a crime that occurred on a specific day. So maybe months leading up to it. All investigations are going to be a little bit different, but many search warrants have a time frame. So when we input that into our software, it cuts out all the extra noise. So everything before and after that time frame is then just kind of set aside, and only that information within the time frame is then placed into the software for us to give to detectives.
And did you go through that process more than once for this particular device?
We did, yes.
And what was the, I guess, longest time frame that you used?
The longest time frame in the end would be from January 1st, 2022 to, I believe it was a day after the incident, February 26th, if I'm not mistaken.
And can you describe how much data was included in that time frame of approximately 13 months?
Forgive me, I can't speak to the exact number of gigabytes that were in the final copy. I know that the device itself had 127-ish gigabytes on it, but that may not sound like a lot, but when it's decompressed and then it's placed one piece of information on one sheet of paper, we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces of paper to display all the information within inside of that device.
And
Get down to the nitty gritty, baby.
portions of the evidence and artifacts from that extraction to put into a presentation for trial this week.
Yes.
Is this presentation indicative of everything on the phone?
Absolutely not.
Your Honor, at this time, I would ask that the witness be passed a multi-page document. I think it's approximately 121 pages, and a disc. This has all been shown to defense counsel, who does not have an objection.
Okay. Edie, you want him to have them?
I would like for him to look at it.
Okay.
Just to identify it. If I can move the iPhone into evidence as the next Detective Miller, do you recognize kind of the content of that document?
Yes.
I'm going to ask that you retain it, and then it will be entered as an exhibit exhibit, which I believe will be 29. And the disc, I guess, can you describe, are there 3 video files within this presentation?
Yes, 3 slides have a video that are going to play for us.
Your Honor, I have his report in a digital format. If I may publish that to the jury.
Okay.
familiar, this is the first page of that report. Can you describe what we're seeing?
Yes, so this is a consolidated page where I've taken information obtained from numerous different locations, but it's all pertaining to Ms. Benning's device.
And does it have kind of information about her user accounts as well as her phone?
Yes, so there's a number of pieces of information that would be assigned by the cell phone or self-service provider, such as the cell phone number that would be down there towards the bottom. But a number of these pieces of information are actually provided by the user or the owner of the device, such as the name, the device's name, email addresses, things like that are associated with different accounts that are or applications that are set up on the phone.
And this is the second page. Can you describe what is shown here?
This is a progress report from one of the tools that extracts data from the devices. This is just pointing out, referencing the portions of information that would have been added by the owner or user of the device, and again, the phone number for the device. Again, you can also see the suggested or the estimated partition size of the device, which is 129 gigs. It ended up being 127, but it's suggested or an estimated size.
So right now it looks like they have Jade's iPhone 13 Pro Max, and they're just verifying right now that it is her information, and he's explaining how he know it's her information. So I guess they got to do that part before they tell what's on it. So when you're doing forensic science, forensic analysis, before you can, show these text messages and things like that, you have to, is a word, not certify it, but you have to, I can't think of the word, but you have to really do what he just did. I can't think of the word. Glenn, do you know what I'm talking about? You have to do forensic science examination on the phone to find out if it's, you got to authenticate it. Yeah, maybe that's a good word. You have to authenticate it. So that's what he just did. He just went through all those steps saying that he authenticated that this is Jade's phone, okay, in order for it to be used in court.
The owner or user would have placed their photograph inside of their contact information, their name.
So that's what he's doing now. Right now, he's not showing no text messages. He's just showing how he got to, validate. He's showing how he is, oh, excuse me, how he is proving that this is actually her phone, okay? So I'm gonna let him do that.
Likely her phone because of a number of different reasons, but just an interesting note there.
And is that one of the things that you're looking for is kind of user activity on a particular device?
Absolutely, yeah. These are some of the first things I look at on any device to try to identify the user and or owner of any device. So these are definitely very, very first steps.
And this next page, which is number 4, can you describe what you're showing here?
Yes, this is a consolidated list of text messages that occurred between Ms. Benning and Mr. Taylor for the final day of her life.
And are these a consolidation of messages from the evening of 2/24/23 through 2/25/23 at 6:55 p.m.?
Yes, and I know I did just say that it was from the final day of her life on the 25th of February. The reason the two at the very top are listing as the 24th is because they were either read or reacted to on the 25th. So that's why those are there, because there are still portions of that conversation still existing on the 25th. That's why you'll still see that date up there at the top.
And this is page 5. Can you describe what is shown here?
This is a series of texts. I believe this is just a different portrayal of what we just looked at. So it just like you would look at on your own phone, all the conversation that you would be submitting, all the text that
They sound like they had good dialogue to me. I mean, I don't see bitch, motherfucker, I can't stand you, go crawl in a hole, jump off a bridge. I mean, slice your wrist. I don't see none of that. How was work? Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I fell asleep watching Outer Banks, then woke up to gun firing on the show. But yeah, I should be laughing my ass off. Woke up confused. Okay, I have to plan for us. You can come dressed comfy to my house. Sweet. I'm getting off now. Like, okay, like, I mean, damn, they sound like a cool couple to me.
Going to have in kind of parentheses there the type and make and model of her device that she had, which was an iPhone 13 Pro Max. It was sent on, this first message was sent on 2/25/23 at 12:26 p.m. And it states also, will you be free around 7?
And this next page, which is 6, can you describe what it's showing here?
Yes, this is a piece of location information that we located inside the device. It was where her phone actually stored her parking location when she parked at a Walmart as she was on her way home from work.
And that was at 4:05:48 p.m., is that correct?
Correct, yes.
I'm gonna go back to slide 5. Is that kind of that time frame of the last text message that she received from Mr. Blaise Taylor?
Correct, yes.
And this next page, which is number 7, can you describe what's shown here?
Again, it's a series of texts between Ms. Benning and Mr. Taylor, spanning from 4:27 p.m. to 6 p.m., or around 6 p.m., I'm sorry, 6:03.
And the next image, which is page 8.
Again, it's another piece of location information that we located on the phone, showing that she had arrived home and parked her car there at her residence at 4:38 p.m. on 2/25/23.
And the next image, which is page 9.
This is where we start going into a timeline.
So it looks like because he asked her, will she be free around 7, that he initiated the date. So I guess that's supposed to be more weight that it was a plan, a situation because he initiated, you know?
And it's not necessarily a step by step timeline. So we're not showing every single thing that occurred in her phone, because if we really showed that, we'd be here all day. Because a lot of things happen under the hood, and when we're looking at it, we're looking at more of what she was doing on the phone, what she was using, or what application she was using, who she was conversing with, and things of that nature. So this is kind of a bird's eye view of what she was doing at her apartment with her device for that evening, starting at around 6 p.m.
And she receives a text message at 6:02 p.m. from Jerry's Porter, and then she sends a text message at 6:03. Can you read out the content and the date and time of that message?
Of the 6:03 message?
Yes.
Okay. It says, let me know whenever you are headed this way.
And the next image, which is page 10, can you describe what's shown here?
Again, we're continuing on, and it's not going to be a minute by minute, just because we aren't necessarily doing something on our phone all the time, or at least most of us aren't. At 6:08, she received an email from one of her subscribed email groups that is subject is titled "Your Pregnancy, Week 23, Day 5." Then she receives a text from Mr. Taylor at 6:26 p.m. That states "Okay," and then receives another text from Darius Porter at 6:43.
And the next image, which is page 11, can you describe what's shown here?
This is a post that Ms. Benning posted to Instagram. Appears to be a picture of what she was cooking that evening, with a phrase that she placed on top of the photograph saying, "If you know, you know."
And can you describe the artifact information and what the created date and time, as well as last access, last modified date time? What that means?
Yes. So depending on the application that was utilized to take a photograph, because We know that we can take a photograph with the typical camera application on our device, but many social media applications access the same camera tool, but you're actually taking that photograph with another application, if that makes sense. So when that's done, there's a number of things that certain applications will hold on to with that picture, and it will say it was taken on this date. Sometimes it'll say the location.
How do we know she didn't lace the Alfredo sauce with some drugs? She said, if you know, you know. It is white, you know, with little specks of green in it. That could be, you know, weed.
When the picture was taken, sometimes it'll say if the photograph was edited, so on and so forth. A number of different things that different applications hold on to. Typically, social media applications scrub a lot of your personal information to protect you as the user. So it doesn't have location information typically. So you're not posting that kind of stuff to the world to where somebody viewing it can say, oh, she's at home, or he's at home right now, or he's at work. So it's a security feature that the social media applications have. Ultimately, photograph was taken at 6:10 p.m. When it's last modified, that could be when she posted it, that could be when she edited it, if I could speak, I'm sorry. And those also could have been done at the exact same time. That as she was looking at the photograph that she just took with the application, she edited it and then posted it right after. So difficult to say exactly, but it's something along those lines.
And the next image, which is page, sorry, go back. We were just on 11, and this next one is page 12. Can you describe what you're showing here?
Yes, this is a series of messages from Instagram.
And can you kind of break out the content of them as well as the time?
Yes, so from Jade Tristan, which is Jade Benning's handle on on Instagram, that's her username, or what other people would see her as if they're looking at her page. She states chicken spaghetti at 6:17 p.m. on February 25th. States looks good just moments later. And then at 6:19, Bridget Burks liked the message and then said, are you making Alfredo at work, or are you off at 6:19:34? And then Jade responds, I'm off tonight.
And this next image, which is page 13, can you describe what this is?
This is another post from Instagram that is posted with someone has written on there, guess what I'm.
Y'all, I just think the prosecutor, she's young. I think she went for this case, and I think she's trying her best to connect the dots, but baby, this ain't doing it. Right here, she's just trying to prove that, you know, he made the initiation of, are you going to be free around 7? And that they indeed did have a date night, you know, with some, what is that? Chicken Alfredo or some chicken spaghetti or whatever. And all the text messages and everything is going to line up that they were this was planned for him to be there. So I think that's what this is, you know, this is proven right here that, okay, he was there. You know what I'm saying? He was there when he said he was going to be there.
The data, ultimately. So whether that's putting.
And that she was happy. She was cooking. She was happy. She was excited. She was off work. She was looking forward to him coming over.
Things that are stored only on the servers for social media applications.
But I still don't see how this connects unless there's a text message that pops up where he says, you know, we need to talk about, you know, breaking up, talk about you getting rid of this baby. We need to have a conversation about, you know, the way forward or something like that. I don't see how she's going to connect the dot that 1, he didn't want the baby. 2, you know, he planned to come over there and do something to her. Unless it's something like, maybe if he says something like, hey, do you want to smoke something? You want to sniff something? You want to inhale something? You know, however you want to eat something? I don't know. You want to suck something? I don't know. Unless he says something like that in the text messages, I don't know how this is even relevant.
Page 14.
So this is a series of Snapchat messages that were sent by Jade to a series of individuals, starting at 6:44 p. Well, I'm sorry, they were all logged at 6:44 p.m. She sent 3 messages via Snapchat to the listed individuals there.
And can you explain Snapchat messages as it relates to finding artifacts on the mobile device? Is that something that is consistent, or how does that work?
It's very haphazard. It depends on user settings. It depends on how quickly we get a device after the conversation occurred. It depends on how many people were involved in the conversation. And again, this is another one of those applications like I was just referring to. It requires internet information or internet access for it to function to its fullest capability. So again, we're limited to what we see on the device itself.
And so, depending on settings, there could be additional Snapchat messages that you wouldn't find on the device. Is that correct?
Correct. And Snapchat inherently is kind of designed as a security-based messaging system that if one-on-one you're having a conversation with somebody, those messages evaporate fairly quickly. When you start adding people to the conversation, those numbers.
I'm going to catch up to where they are now. Because, baby, what the hell happened?
Sent, which is how we identify the photograph that was sent in that message.
And the next image was just page 23.
So between 6:51 and 6:55, a few text messages are shared between Blaise and Jade. Mr. Taylor.
Sorry, can you describe the content of the messages?
Yes, on 2/25/23 at 6:51, message was sent to Jade from Blaise that states "on my way," and roughly 4 minutes later, Jade loved that image or hearted that image, or that message.
And what else is included on this page 23?
At 6:55 p.m., Jarius Porter received a message from Jade.
And is it received or sent?
Oh,
she.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I said that in a confusing way, but she submitted a text to him. She sent it to him.
And the next page, which is 24.
I'm sorry. So this is a phone call that was an incoming call to Jade's phone from Mr. Taylor's device.
And can you give the date and time?
It was at February 25th, 23 at 6:59:49 p.m.
And what was the call duration?
It was 10 seconds.
I'm at somewhat of a stopping point.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you going a little further. I think the court staff told you about an event the court needs to go to just briefly down the hallway, and that will be also during the time you break for lunch. So remember what I said about not discussing the case, one having an opinion about it, the other admonitions. We'll get back here, just say around 2:20, something like that. You'll step down the hall.
Okay, so they're going on break. I had stepped out for a minute, y'all. So they're going on break. We're going on break. But before we go on break, let me go over the timeline of who entered the home. Oh, thank you, C. Page. Appreciate you, C. Page. Appreciate you, Sonia C. Appreciate you guys that are pointing to this live stream. Let's go over the timeline right quick of who entered the home and what did they do in the home, okay? So what I have here is I have Nigel Jackson, the friend that testified yesterday that was crying on the panel. Her and Keontae Jones. It says they stopped by Jay's apartment while Blaise Taylor was there. Prosecutors said they stayed roughly 30 minutes and then left. Court TV says that Jones was one of the last people to see Jade before the emergency, and described her as a happy and normal when she left. Okay. Now, this was the night of the incident. Now, after about 30 minutes of departure, Jay allegedly called Niger and saying that, you know, what did you do? What did you put in my drink? I cannot feel my legs. Blaise, you're scaring me. Okay. Now, it wasn't an apartment visit, but it was a phone call. Now, later that night, after Jade was rushed to the hospital, Lauren Weber, Jade's co-worker and friend, said that Jade's biological mother, Bridget, asked her to go to the apartment, take photos, blow out a candle, lock the door, and take Jade's keys. Lauren said the apartment smelled like cleaning products. Now, it says here, hold on. It says Niger testified that she went over to the home with other people. But now it didn't say who other people was. It just says with other people. She went back to the apartment with other people. It says during the trial, she says that she went back looking for any signs of a struggle. She saw and handled the camera situation and moved a camera that she believed was recording, positioning it toward the door. She also reportedly pulled the blinds down. Okay, now it don't say who the other people are. It just says Niger went back to the house, to the apartment with other people. And then the next day, Stephanie Franklin went. She testified that she went at Jay's mother's request, took the photos, videos, wore gloves, and removed items, including the vomited cover blanket. Okay, now I heard her testify that the mother didn't really tell her to go. She just kind of went on her own. So I don't know if the telling her mother request, her mother may have said something about it and she went over there. So anyway, it says that Jade's biological mother asked Lauren to take photos, blow out a candle, lock the door, and take Jade keys. Okay. So 4 different individuals went back to that home after the incident. 2 was there while he was there, right? While they were having a date night, her friend Niger and Keontae pulled up on them uninvited, unannounced. Pulled up on them, stayed for about 30 minutes and left. 30 minutes later, Jade called saying, what did you put in my drink? What did you put in my drink? Now, I believe she was asking her friend, what did she put in the drink? But I know some of you guys and the state thinks that she was asking, you know, she was basically saying, Blaise, what did you do to me? What did you do to me? I just don't think that's what she was saying. I think that she was asking her friend, what did you put in my drink? Okay. They are on recess for about, how long did he say? Did he say an hour, hour and 15 minutes? I don't know. I'm going to keep watching it, but we're going to log off here and take a break. I'm going to get me something to eat. And we're going to come back after lunch because they're going to be on break for at least an hour. I think they said there's going to be an extended lunch, so it may be an hour 15 or even an hour 30. But right now it is 1:18. So we're going to come back at about 2:30, okay? We'll come back about 2:30 Central Time, all right? So thank y'all for helping me with this live stream. Those that blessed this live stream so far, we got Candy Girl, Glenn, Binky the Bink Bink. We got Monique, we got Robin, we got Tivis Joyce, we got Vera, we got Toya. We got Sassy D, we got C Page, and we got Sonia C. So thank you guys so very much. I'm going to log off and come back in about an hour and 15 minutes, okay? She said, oh, I am so invested. Yes, I am invested too, girl. So we're going to get down to the real nitty gritty and we're going to, it sounds like the judge is saying there is 2 more state witnesses, 2 more, and then the defense can call their witnesses, okay? So we'll be back at 2:30. Talk to y'all soon. Thank you. Bye, y'all.
Because they can't make $1 without mentioning down one of our names.
Jay! She kept talking about that family.
Hoes over there.
She kept talking about that family. 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 That family. She kept talking about that family. Talking about that family.
These motherfuckers don't be wanting to bless on them. Because they can't make $1 without mentioning down one of our names.
Amoira.